Chapter 4 discusses the uses of blends and meshes. You'll first start out by making a really professional looking background image. You'll then use blend to make a reflection on a CD. And finally, you'll use the gradient mesh tool to make a realistic looking apple. In this lesson, I'd like to show you how to blend two paths together to make a really great background. You've probably seen this used as a screensaver or maybe even in some ad campaigns. It's when one line gets blended to another. If you'd like to follow along, just open up background.ai. It's located inside your Chapter 4 folder. If you take a look at your Layers panel, I've already set up a couple of layers for you. One is called Paths, which is a locked layer, and the other one is called Background. The background layer has the blue rectangle. What I'd like you to do is just trace these paths. So to begin with, let's just make ourselves a new layer. Remember, you can hold down Alt on Windows or Option on a Macintosh while you click it, so that way the layer options come up. And I'm going to call this our working layer. And click OK. Now that we're on this new layer, I'd like to make some paths that are similar to this one. It does not have to be perfectly like this one. And in fact, you can even skip this step if you'd like, and you can use these existing paths. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to the pen tool, and we're going to draw two different paths. You can see the shape of the first path here. So I'm going to start way over here, and I'm just going to click, and click. Remember, it does not have to be perfect. You're going to want to draw with a fill of none and a stroke of white. Great. And I'm just going to continually draw this. Come right over here. And remember, you can always hold that Alt key, Option on a Mac, to fix any of these paths. Remember, it does not have to be perfect. It just has to look something like this. I'm going to curve this out a little bit more there. Good. There. And there. Just fix that one up a little bit. Great. Okay. Now remember the shortcut, so we don't have to leave this tool and then come back. To disconnect yourself from this path, just hold down the Control key on Windows or the Command key on a Mac and click anywhere. That'll release you from that path. And now we'll draw the next path. I'm going to start right about up here, and I'm going to come to about right here, and we'll get this first shape. Remember the other shortcut. You can hold down the Control key on Windows or the Command key on the Mac to either move the path, or if you go to the white arrow first and then to the pen tool, it then becomes the direct selection tool, which means you can just move the path like this. And I'll hold down Alt or Option to fix the directional handle. Now, because I left the tool, I've become disconnected from this path. So remember that you can just click right back over an anchor point, drag out, and we're just going to trace this a little bit. Good. Remember, you can use artistic license with this. It does not have to look just like this. Just like that. Good. Okay, now I'm going to hold down Control on Windows or Command on a Mac and click to release myself from that line. Great. All right, now choose the selection tool. I'm going to hold spacebar for a minute, get the hand tool and get back there. Great. In the Layers panel, let's go ahead and just hide that paths layer. Let's turn off the visibility so we now have our two paths. Now what I'd like to do is blend one path to the next path. First step is to select both paths. So click on one path, hold Shift, and select the other one. So you'll now have two paths selected. To perform a blend, you can either go through the menu and choose Object, Blend, Blend Options, or I'll cancel out of that just so you can see the other way. You can also double-click the Blend tool, and you can see blend options appear here as well. We'll do it through the Blend tool to begin. You'll see that you have Smooth Color, Specified Steps, or Specified Distance. For this exercise, let's choose Specified Steps. And I'm going to change it to 50 steps so that you will get 50 other lines that connect these. It's going to make a really great effect for a background. Go ahead and just click OK. Now what you may say is, well, nothing happened. Remember, all we really just did is change the blend options. Now we actually have to make the blend, which you can get under Object, down to Blend, and over to Make. The shortcut is Alt-Control-B on Windows or Option-Command-B on a Mac. And there you have it. One line is fading into the other. These paths are still editable, so you can still move them. By going to the Direct Selection tool, you can click on any anchor point and drag it out to make this look however you'd like. In fact, as paths overlap each other, like this, you come up with some really great effects. For the final step, I'd like to select just one of the paths by just clicking on it, and you can see that just one path is selected. And I'll go over to the Transparency panel and take down the opacity of just one of the lines. And you can see if you go all the way down to 0, you get this really great effect where one line fades into the next one. So have fun with this exercise. Feel free to make the paths however you'd like. And remember, have fun exploring blends inside of Illustrator CS4.